Hi, Lucien. Hi, Marion. You're on air right now.
Hi.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you, René. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, MICES, for inviting us and for bringing the community together. It's really a great conference till now. Yes, I would just wanted to assure Alexander that gave the previous talk. This talk will not be technical either. So Alexander, you can stay and enjoy it also. We will touch some technical points, but this talk will mainly speak about functional issues. I'm here with Marion from Carrefour France, and we will talk about customer satisfaction.
Yes, hello. My name is Mario Emery, and I work on the search engine of Carrefour.fr since 2 years, now as a product owner of product search experience.
And as for myself, I'm Lucian. I'm a principal consultant at Adelian. I build and helped building search engines till 2010. And one of my latest projects is All, which is a collaborative search engine that some people use instead of Google. You can check it out at all.site, http all.site. Yes, so we will actually have this presentation in 2 parts, because before going to improvements, we have to understand what is customer satisfaction, how to measure it, how to interpret the feedback that we are getting. Before starting to improve whatsoever, we need to touch some KPIs and to define them, etc. So a great part of the presentation will be focused on how to measure this feedback, and the second part will be focused on improvements that we can add, and also how to like find the common denominator, how to prioritize, and also how to capitalize on things that are going well, so that do not need to be changed. Yes. So yeah, go ahead, Maria.
Okay, so we are talking about the search engine that is deployed at Carrefour.fr, which is one of the top 10 of e-commerce websites in France. Yeah, 5 years of offering service. On the technology stack, our search engine is based on Elasticsearch and A2 from Adelian. Our search engine provides 3 types of services: drives, which is the pickup of the order at one of the 1,500 physical stores. On delivery services, your shopping cart is delivered at your home in 1 to 7 days. Express pickup for non-food products, essentially, where you can pick up your products in 2 hours in a physical store. We also handle a marketplace. Products from partners are part of the catalog in addition to the other services. An important part of the context is data enrichment. The source data is not the same depending on the service we are providing: drive, on delivery, marketplace, or express pickup. These services are provided by your website, Carrefour.fr, and 2 mobile applications, one for iOS and the other for Android.
And we will try to be generic, so to talk about customer satisfaction in general in e-commerce and in general in retail industry also. But yeah, you have to bear in mind that the retail industry has some specificities compared to generic e-commerce, and Carrefour France has also some additional issues, additional specificities connected to the fact that it's hybrid. It's also physical stores and e-commerce.
Yes. In terms of volume, we are handling more than 2 million searches a week. Users search for food and not food products. Depending on the products that are displayed on the search results page, the expectations are different. On non-food products, the fields that are displayed are pretty standardized. You have title, ingredients, weight, health-related information, and some legal attributes. On non-food products, the information that are displayed depends on the type of the product. You also have different navigation paths. For non-food products, they are mostly added to cart on the product detail page, while the food products are more often added to cart directly from the product listing page or the SRP. When they search, users may have already identified a specific local store, or they might just launch the launch on a virtual store with a virtual product assortment. Whether the user has already chosen the time and date for his pickup or not, the search engine must behave differently because, again, the different product assortment.
Yeah, so you have already seen that measuring the customer satisfaction in such a complex environment that has a lot of axes and factors to it, it's complicated. So speaking about customer satisfaction, we first have to define it, and this will be our first issue. What KPIs? Is it measurable? I mean, is it something that you can measure objectively? If yes, how to measure it? Can you generalize the measures that you have done to all the users? Are all the users the same? If you categorize them, how do you categorize them? If the customer satisfaction is low, why is that? What are the reasons? What can you do to improve it? And if it's high, does it mean it's good? Does it mean you're doing well? Maybe the KPIs are not right. And last but not least, is the perception that the users have on your search engine is really related to search, because the search engine on an e-commerce website, it's the gateway to the information, but the perception might be related to the entire website. The perception can also be related to products that are currently available. So it has nothing to do with technical issues, but simply with the assortment. A customer might be unhappy because there's a product that's missing right now, and this can have other reasons than technical.
Yes, so we can talk about customer satisfaction without mentioning NPS, the Net Promoter Score. It's an index ranging from -100 to +100 that measures the willingness of customers to recommend a company's product or services to others. We use that to know the satisfaction of our client on the global product search of our website. The NPS does not necessarily correlate with a better add-to-cart rate or lower exit rate, so it's necessary to monitor the usual indicators at different scopes: session, user, query, pages, etc. As we have seen in the presentation of the context, the same query on the search engine can lead to approximately 4,500 different pages, and they really do not have the same value in function of the customer choice. So we have set up a system for collecting comments on the page, which allow us to have the printed page with the verbatim, to be sure to miss nothing. About key performance indicators, basic metrics are the add-to-cart rate, the bounce and/or exit rates, the number of searches by sessions or by order, time between every add-to-cart on an SRP, position of the first product clicked or added to cart, number of actions before an add-to-cart, etc. We could go much further into the subjects, but I don't think that's the point. What we would like to remind is that the variations are not always due to the search engine itself, but sometimes to a paradigm shift in the search corpus. More non-food items, like during Black Friday, for example, we see the add to cart rates drop, but the sales revenue increase because users add near 200% eggs after their search, but it's not the case after smartphone, for example. Some improvement can have the same impact. Changes in user behavior can lower add to cart rates, but increase sales revenue. The key is to always keep an eye on the revenue.
Yes, I just wanted to emphasize this this point, which is really, I mean, when you search for eggs, you add them to the basket maybe right away, and when you search for a smartphone, you will take the time to think about it, and that is really, really a great example. Now, speaking about verbatim comments, Carrefour pays a lot of attention to the user's voice, and these are really important. So the user is actually has the ability and is asked to give a feedback, and and this feedback is kind of a really important part of the signals that are gathered, because it's a direct feedback with the user. So behind any KPIs and any automatic data collection that you can have, like how many products have been put to cart and all that, you have real people that tell you their real problems with the website. Now, these verbatims are important, but some you can see some examples here which are quite funny. Some of them are complicated to use, some of them are unclear, others are irrelevant, completely irrelevant, and others are very relevant but not necessarily business friendly. So you have also to pay attention to those. They can be signals, but you have to distillate them before going further. Yeah, so this can particularly help to prioritize changes when it's complicated to quantify the business gain.
Yes, let's talk again about the NPS. It allows you to take a step back on the feeling provided by the search engine. Very often, this includes the front-end part and satisfaction or dissatisfaction with the product assortment. And here is where the challenge begins. We could say, this is not my scope, I spread the message, what I do. But what is also seems relevant to do is to ask how the search engine itself can help to improve points that seem strongly related to his experience, even if the core of the issue is in fact related to another thing. The search engine needs to be really adapted to the context and the business model in which it operates to be satisfying. Now that we have seen in detail what to measure, the question is how. And the only thing that will be noted here is that you need to have all those information in contextualized axes, by device, by time of navigation, by store, by type of service, by region, anything that may be relevant to your business and create disparity. This is what will allow us to ask the right questions and hopefully find the answer. Compare satisfaction on different values for each axis. We'll follow up with questions like, why are our users more satisfied on Monday than Thursday? Why are they more satisfied with smaller or larger product assortment? Yeah, as we have just seen, there are a lot of verbatim comments possibilities as of improvement possibilities. But what is our customer needs is not necessarily business needs. So we come back to our first prerequisite, knowing your business, to choose how to answer to user requests, how we can help the user to search effectively in our search engine.
And just to make a disclaimer here, so the screenshots, so most of the screenshots are taken from the French website, so carrefour.fr, so they are in French. This one actually shows you a web page, which is a result, a search result page, and it's an example of a redirection, automatic redirection for people that do not search for a specific product, but actually search for information about the delivery process. And you have to take that into account also.
First conclusion about KPIs, verbatim, and NPS. Metrics can reflect changes in the search corpus. The search engine is also related to satisfaction and dissatisfaction with the product assortment. With the complexity of having drives in physical stores, users expect the same product assortment. And we must keep in mind to go to micro level in indicators and to divide axes to analyze.
Yes, now we have seen how to read the signals, how to interpret them. We will switch to the second part of the talk, which is how we can improve. Yes, so first, also some hints taken from the first part. You first of all, you have to the requests. You don't necessarily have to say yes to every request, and even it's even indicated not to say a yes to every request like this. You have to read between the lines. You have to find the common denominator between several signals that are there. You have to correct the root problem and not some surface problem. Like Marianne said, sometimes problems are related to the UI, and actually the real problem can be actually in the data or something. You have to attack the root problem, and also considering all the axes that you have to put things into context, because a feedback, like Marianne said, give a feedback given on Monday or on that specific event or another time can be different, and you have to put it into context. And last, you have also to challenge and to rephrase the requests, and also to challenge in the way that you should also use A/B testing and to test the solution, the improvement that you're suggesting, to see if it really goes you, sends you in the right direction.
Yes, for sure. And if the customer requests for an evolution, it doesn't always seem relevant for all use case. The question is whether if the evolution can be limited to beneficiary case, and if it's not, would another way of solving the problem better suit the needs for all customers? For example, some of our customers want us to keep in memory their ranking preferences as lowest price first. But as a lot of search engines, we prefer relevance to avoid accessories on the top of our pages or cheese pizza on the query cheese. It is difficult to manage without adding another revolution, like filtering, in addition on the first request ranking. So when customers ask for something, if you think that it's not a good idea for everyone, experience or sales revenue, we have to challenge their idea. Ranking could be a new filtering, or else an implementation can be for some user only, etc.
Yes, so another way to improve your system, and this is actually the one that works maybe best in e-commerce, and especially in retail e-commerce, is to know your business domain and to know your users. We will see that later, but actually there's no AI, there's no machine learning or algorithm that can do that better than you can as a business user. This is an example about how people think when they search for salad. So actually there are maybe 10 or more types of salad on Carrefour.fr website. And when people search for salad, they actually mean all these. They even like and are happy that you return spinach on this query, salad. On the other way around, people that will search for spinach foods will actually not be glad that you're returning salad. So, and this is something that you know because you know your domain, you know your products, you know your customers. And well, technically, this is implemented with synonyms, taxonomies, directed synonyms, and categorization prior to that.
Yes, and in the same way, some brand names are used to search for product type, and search engines have to manage this kind of query, sometimes with synonyms. Searches do not always ask for what is written. Test and learn is a good method to tune the engine. For example, we have learned by mistake that semi-skimmed milk, a type of low-fat milk, can be added to a large extent on skimmed milk research search. Another type of low-fat milk. That seems irrelevant for product typology, but not for users.
Yes, here's another example. So this is actually a product that you can find on Carrefour.fr. So you can find it in French. It's actually spelled exactly like this. And it's actually an Italian product. And depending on the user, and the user would expect to find this product not in the same place as everybody. And this leads to the way that the user will search for this product. So this product can be expected in the organic department. It's also cheese, and it's also Italian. There is a department with Italian products. And so all these situations are connected to knowing your users, and the system has to adapt to all this complexity and user thinking differently.
Yes, and user can search for particular product in the search engine, but not only. You can seek inspiration, search types of product for which there is not necessarily a menu. So the search engine must know how to group them for just a query. For the users who are actually looking for herbs on the search space, it is difficult to redirect, and building a suitable page seems more relevant. Search engines have to know how to merge all types of product dispatched in different menus. Otherwise, the customer is not looking just for products, and it contributes to customer satisfaction to also offer a downhill experience for other types of requests. We list the type of information queries and find if we have a page, or create it to find the content he searched for.
And a few words about performance. This is also another key improvement that you can apply, and it's generically, it applies to everybody. The faster your search is, the more happy your users are. And it's especially true in the retail industry, and again, more true, so it's true, it's especially true in the food industry, because when you're buying groceries, you actually do at minimum 30 searches. It's really different if you're buying a bike or a TV set or a phone. If for example you're on a website that sells bikes, you might not bother that the search engine responds in 1 second, maybe 2 seconds. It's not something that bothers you because you actually put several days or maybe more than that to buy the bicycle. But when you're buying goods, you actually have to be very fast, and every millisecond counts. When you consider a basket that a cart that has 30 products, you have at least 20 searches behind that, and you need to be very responsive.
Yes. Then communication to the user is very important in his satisfaction. He seeks an understandable user experience. For example, when results are irrelevant, this is a very dull point. So in the case of query relaxing, where you can have irrelevant product, you have to be careful that the user understands that we have not succeeded to answer correctly. If he is looking for products that we don't sell online but have in physical store, making our user understand the business model helps us to prevent disappointment.
Exactly. So if we go back to the slide, the examples that you saw were also in French. They actually mean, the first one is that there was a typo in the query, and we actually, when that happens, we explain to the user that we kind of switched to another query, so there's no surprise there, because yeah, sometimes there's no typo in the query. That's actually what the user searched, and in order for them not to be surprised, they find something else. This is important so for the search engine to be transparent. The second example is a search that had 0 results in the particular area where the user was searching, and the search engine suggests that the user searches into some other categories. So we will move on. We talked about artificial intelligence and machine learning and all these buzzwords that are going into the industry nowadays. Well, actually, when especially in e-commerce, where you have very structured data and you have very specific products, and you have you have business people and people that know exactly their customers, it's difficult to beat this relevancy. So we are talking here about machine learning in the case of relevancy, because you also have machine learning in other use cases like voice search, like data cleaning, like refinements and all that. We're not questioning that. Machine learning and all the statistical methods are right for those areas. But here, when we talk about relevance, actually this is a false good idea to work on. Yes.
Yes. Here's an example of usage of statistical method which increase customer satisfaction and revenue. As we said, the impact of this method in ranking is limited, but it is great to improve UX. When assortment can be large for our user, refined queries help them reduce their result page when we can direct them to searches for which we know the metrics in advance. Likewise, proposing follow-up searches allows the user to continue building his basket by specifying the searches that we know will work, and also offer products that they might not have staff for searching for.
And when we talk about speed, yeah, if we go back to the previous example, when we talked about speed and the performance, the speed that the user expects, the fact that you suggest a new query right away without even for the user having to type it, it's something that that the user appreciates.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the key points also on improving the system is your technology stack. What's important in a search engine is that you keep an eye on all the parts of the search engine. We have seen teams where the data team is different from the search services team and is different from the UI team. And in these cases, I mean, you have to make sure that the system is coherent. Fixing a user issue might have its solution on all the levels, and all the levels must communicate between each other in order to provide the best solution. if you have access as a team only to the search services, you will not be able to provide the best solution. There are some technologies that are provided like on the shelf and on a vertical manner, but there are also some you always have to build around it to make sure that this stack is coherent. So get a coherent technology stack. You also have to make sure that the search engine is well integrated with the rest of the system, because the perception on the search engine also comes from even from the payment system or from the product details page, which are not necessarily handled by the search engine. Another key point is that your business team should be autonomous in the context of e-commerce in general, but especially in the retail industry. The data changes very often. You have seasons, you have seasonality, you have events that come and go every day, not every day, but you have a lot of events during the year, and the search engine must be improved almost on a daily basis. So it's important that the business team is autonomous and can act on the search engine quite quickly on every aspects of it. And this is why we placed here this module, which is called Business Console. And yeah, as I said, also you have to think full stack. You have to really think your search solution from A to Z in order to have the best answer for your users. And I think this was the last slide. I don't know. Yeah, I hope we didn't exceed the time.
Oh, well, thanks a lot, Lucien. Thanks a lot, Marian. I screened the comments, and I think especially the idea of bringing together that UX feedback with the search features finds a lot of approval, and that matches with my perspective as well. If you go deeper down the road of search product development, you tend to look more and more to this UX feedback. Thanks a lot. There are some questions in the chat. Unfortunately, we don't have time to go through them, but maybe you find the time to answer them in the chat, or you all together join those questions afterwards in the spatial chat. Well, again, thanks a lot.